Is the 6.0 Powerstroke a better version of the 7.3 if it's bulletproof? Now that's a question for the day. So now let's go down this long list of questions and answers that I have that I've written to myself, and we'll kind of figure out whether or not we are on the right track here. Because the 7.3, as we all know, was the badass tow rig of the century. We'll see. So let's go down the common problems that you have in a 6.0 Powerstroke. Head gasket failures, EGR cooler failures, oil cooler clogging, and what do those three things tell you? Personally, to me, I feel like that is a lack in design. So with the head gasket failure, we were looking at a lackage of clamping force for the heads, right? The EGR was cracking due to excessive high pressure. You know what I mean? Just a design issue, right? So, and I personally think that the 6.0 would have been a lot better if Ford wasn't rushed under the rising emissions. I think it was just a push to get the engine out the door, because think about it, they had this 7.3 and they needed to push something out that the general public would want to buy, just like the 7.3. But with the rising in emissions, the emissions quota, well, you know, they pushed out the 6.0, and you know, the 6.0's got better. I mean, from when they switched to VGT turbos, what was that? 05? Right about then, they were coming out with fixes for a lot of your early 6.0 issues, right? So, you know, they knew the issues and they knew what was going on by them. But when you look at bulletproofing a 6.0, you got a lot of your issues fixed. So then what are the issues? You know, I feel like that the 6.0, once bulletproofed, will change your mind on everything. If you own one, you know, but if you don't, then it's hard to tell, because all you know is from what people tell you. So what design flaws led to these problems? Key design flaws include a weak head bolt system, an under-designed and failure-prone EGR cooler, and restrictive oil cooler that gets clogged easily due to debris in the cooling system. Now, I can agree with that, right? So let's look at what is the core issue here. The cooling system inherits weakness. The oil cooler passages get clogged, leading to the EGR cooler failure due to overheating, right? Overheating causes a domino effect, impacting your other engine components. So it's really just a chain reaction, right? You know what's also really good is looking at, here, we'll show you here. Here, 179 is my oil temperature and 180 is the engine coolant temperature. With my engine oil temperature being 179 and my engine coolant temperature being 180, we know that our coolant and oil temperature are relatively the same, so we know that our coolant we know that our coolant level isn't skyrocketing, and it tells us pretty much that our oil cooler is working how it needs to be. Now, if you were to see like a 15-degree difference, then that's when I would be worried. That would probably be a good sign. I feel like you'd probably want to start looking at your oil cooler. 6.0 nightmare stories, all right? This first one's actually pretty interesting. The EGR cooler nightmare. A buddy of mine bought a 6.0 Powerstroke because he needed a reliable truck for towing his camper. It worked great for the first few months until one day, halfway up a mountain pass, his coolant temp started spiking. He kept driving thinking it was a temporary issue, but the truck suddenly went into limp mode. Turns out the EGR cooler failed and the engine overheated. By the time he got it to the shop, the damage was done. Blown head gaskets, cracked EGR cooler. If he had deleted or upgraded the EGR cooler earlier, he could have saved thousands of dollars and avoided that trip-ending disaster. Now, that is one thing, you know, got to think about. What are, you know, if you can invest the money now, it's probably a better idea to do it now. Alright, let's look at this last story. The bulletproof success. I met a guy who inherited a 6.0 Powerstroke that had been bulletproofed. ARP head studs, upgraded oil cooler, fully deleted EGR system. He uses the truck for hauling equipment almost every day. He's already put over 100,000 miles on the upgrades. The truck hasn't let him down once. His secret, he invested in preventative upgrades and stays on top of maintenance. It's proof that with the right mods, the 6.0 can be one of the most reliable engines out there. Now, with that being said, that is a really good thing to look at. That is a key story that I would take away from this video. Alright, so that's a wrap. The 6.0 Powerstroke may have its quirks, but with, you know, the right upgrades and a little bit of TLC, more capable of getting the job done. These upgrades aren't just about fixing problems, they're about future-proofing the truck and making it something you can rely on every day. Now, with that being said, stay tuned for more videos like this. You know, I'll be researching, kind of taking questions from the internet and talking about them, and maybe we can break them down so that, you know, not everyone understands, you know, the concept or the you know, the bigger picture here. But if we can break them down and put them into simple words, maybe we can both learn more about the 6.0. So make sure to like and subscribe. Hope you guys liked the video.